A large through line in the film is grandparents and their influences on both Paul as well as Johnny in a way too. And for me, my grandparents are a huge part of my life too, so that felt really cool to see. And I guess wanted to know how your grandparents impacted your screenwriting, James, but also for you, for Banks and Jaylin, how it impacted, how your grandparents impacted your like acting choices and how you approach the script.
My grandfather was the person who told me I was wanted and loved. And I had a very special relationship with him. He was a beautiful guy. And I don't think I really coped with his death in any way that makes a lot of sense to me now. I was quite young when he died, and I think I just saw it as some kind of weird abstraction, like he's not here anymore. I mean, I couldn't quite process it. And in a sense, his love for me was all that I needed to go on in the world. It's not that I had terrible parents, it's just that they had their own obligations to try and make the house work and to earn enough money to put food on the table. And his love was unconditional. So when you're trying to write a movie, really the most important thing to communicate actually is love, is empathy, the extension of our sympathies. And I wanted to make a film that was tender and it wasn't cruel. It may show the cruelties of the world, but the film is not cruel. There's a difference. And I think that his statement to me that I'm wanted helped, it sort of got into the DNA of the movie somehow. I don't know, you guys can take over what your grandparents mean to you. I don't know.
Well, my grandmother, she is one of my biggest supporters. I'm just extremely close to her. So that is also one thing that I can relate to Johnny with. You know, she definitely has a very big impact on my choices. And when I was shooting the scene with my grandmother, my grandma was kind of under those same circumstances at the time. So that also really did impact my performance in that scene.
I have these distinct memories of having these Thanksgivings with all of my dad's side of the family over at my grandparents' house. And I remember like it being late at night and watching these old movies with them. And I know that sounds so cliche, but it was really like, it really meant something because that's the quality time that I got to spend with them. And it's funny, I was thinking about, man, my grandpa's gonna watch every single second of this movie once I finish it. And it's so strange, right when I forgot when, but my grandpa just recently passed away, and it's sad, but yeah.
I'm sorry to hear about that, Banks, but that's really beautiful. Thanks for sharing, guys. This is more for you, James. Banks and Jaylin, they really had to mold themselves into characters that use both humor and being a class clown as a way to like navigate their respective problems at home. When you were trying to find the perfect Paul and Johnny, what did you consider the most important and what did you look for and what really stood out with these two?
Well, I read, I don't know, 500, 600 kids on Zoom, and many were wonderful. I mean, wonderful, very talented people. I saw a ton of great kids. So I want to make sure that that's known. And there were maybe 10 kids who were so good that I had to like think about what am I doing here? But in the case of these two boys, sensitivity, intelligence, and when I talked to them and with them, I saw that they were really great at listening and taking in suggestions and making them better than what I had in mind. We played a bit, they'll remember, maybe not, I don't know, when we did auditions through Zoom, because this is the world we're in now. I would sometimes ask them to do things that were different, or I would ask them to do it seen in a different way and see how they would listen. And it's hard to describe, except to say that I saw something beautiful inside both of them. And that moved me very much. So, that's not a common quality really, but both of the boys moved me very much. I loved them.
I love that. And I guess in the same vein, what drew the two of you to this script over other ones that you may have seen?
It was,
No, you can go first. It's okay.
Just reading the script, I just thought it was amazing. It was just so different, and just looking at my lines and understanding Johnny's character, it just spoke to me. And I think that really drew me closer to the script. I had a feeling that there would be a nice impact.
I remember before I did the audition, and then we got the call back. And before I got on Zoom with James, I had about 2 hours to read the script with my mom. And I got a sense for what would be going through Paul's head when he did all these scenes. And when I thought about Paul and I thought about the script, and then I did the Zoom with James, and I kind of all brought it together of what I'd be working with. And then James saw what I brought to the table, and I think that's when I realized what this script meant to him.